Let's hear it. Thomas and the connector effect. Thank you.
Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen of this fine organization, the connector effect. At the University of Minnesota, connector is slang for the campus shuttles that travel around and connect all the campuses in St. Paul, Minneapolis East, and Minneapolis West as one cohesive community, collectively known as the Twin Cities of Minnesota. My icebreaker speech today is about how one random event or chance encounter can completely change one's path, one's future, and one's life. I remember the beginning of my freshman year after my parents had dropped me off, and I thought to myself that life would be more predictable than spending time with him. Well, I was wrong. I cannot tell you how many times I got lost that first week. But one day, I found myself riding one of these connectors. And a capacity of about 60 people, but the one I was on, we easily fit in about 90. I was standing up and there was an individual behind me, a middle-aged man, around his 50s. And I didn't think much of him, and nobody else on the bus thought much of him either. Well, I think we were all thinking about the destination in mind and how we were not going to get lost today. But suddenly and unexpectedly, the bus driver slammed on the brakes. And everyone lurched forward, kind of like that. The middle-aged man was taken aback, and he ran into me. Needless to say, I turned around and we both made eye contact with one another. We exchanged glances, and then we both laughed and shrugged it off. A conversation ensued. It was mostly small talk about how I was enjoying my freshman year so far and what I thought. Until he asked me what my intended major was, and I told him that I was interested in the biological sciences. From that moment on, the conversation solely revolved around biological sciences. And this connector ride took about 20 minutes. So we were talking about biological sciences for nearly 20 minutes. As we approached our final destination, the man stopped talking and he formally introduced himself to me. And he had told me that his name was Dr. Mark Schleiss. He was a director at the University of Minnesota Medical School, and he had a medical research lab on campus. Without missing a beat, he pulled out his wallet and he handed me a business card about this size. I didn't bring it with me today. And he told me to shoot him an email once I was done with my Foundations Biology and Organic Chemistry lectures. Throughout the year, I managed to hang on to this little piece of paper, this small, despite the fact that I have lost numerous things in my first year. One thing worth noting, the work boots and work gloves that my dad had bought for me in anticipation that I'd be ready, willing, and able to do any and all the random projects that he could possibly think of. I lost those. I lost 2 pairs of reading glasses. Don't ask me how that happened. I lost a pair of sunglasses. Don't ask me how that happened. I've lost pairs of socks. I've lost shirts. Wow. But I managed to hang on to this man's card. And after a year passed, I sent him an email. And to my surprise, he remembered who I was and how we had met. He remembered the bus ride. I gave him a call as he requested, and right away he offered me a job on the spot in his research lab. And since then I've been working on subunit vaccines, microbiology, translational research. The amount of time and energy this man has put into mentoring me, challenging me, and paying me has given me a clear indication of what I want to do in my future. The path that I've chosen is a path traveled by few, and worth noting, my dad will no longer need to worry about my grades anymore, because the path I've chosen is the path of medicine, medical research. And it's all thanks to this man. And I cannot believe that I thought for 1 second that this man was just some random middle-aged man on the bus. I didn't think much of it. Pay mind to the individuals around you every day, because you never know who they are or what they have to offer you in your lifetime until you bump into them and strike up a conversation. The connector effect, much like the butterfly effect, is real, it's powerful, and it has the potential to change one's life for the better. Mr. Toastmaster?